Hi, how you doing? This is Dr. Tom Iannello, and I'm here today with Jessie. Asked Jessie to come in and speak to us because she's had some really remarkable things occur over the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Yeah, since June.
Since June.
Since June 12th.
June 12th, and she's
Yeah,
got
I
it
think
right
so.
to the
Yes,
day.
I do.
Yeah, and we've had such a great time watching her get her health back that I felt it was important for her to talk to us because it really has been, in my opinion, it's been quite miraculous. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back over what brought you in here.
Okay.
And then I want to take everybody through exactly what happened and what your experience was, okay?
All right.
All right, so what brought you into the office?
Well, I came in with very bad back pain. I couldn't even feel my feet, my legs. I had no strength. And I went to the doctor, and she took x-rays, told me I had a heavy-duty muscle spasm, and gave me anti-inflammatory and a muscle relaxer.
Okay.
And that did not do anything, I'm going to say, for a good 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I went to have my nails done, because of course you have to have your nails done. And my nail girl I've been very friendly with since she's 18, and she saw me walk in, true story, and she looked at me, and she said, "What happened to you?" And I told her. And she, right then and there, called Dr. Iannello, and I got an appointment that very day. What had happened, when I came in, I had to tell him the truth, which was a little bit embarrassing. I had bought espadrilles, very high heels, higher than I've ever had. I wore them once, and the next day I can feel
how high?
they were 5.5
You know,
inches.
you think these heels are for kids, right?
Yeah, and
you know,
it
some
was,
of them still like to wear.
Right, and it wasn't a spike, it was an espadrille, so there was a full padding there.
Uh-huh.
The next day I felt immediately pain in my legs, and I sent them back. And the next week I went to Colorado to go horseback riding. It was a girls' week, 5 days, and yoga. Within the third day, I could not get my boots on. I could not feel my feet. I cut down on the riding, and I don't even know how I got home to walk through the airport because it was excruciating pain. So that's when I went to the doctor. 2 weeks, nothing happened, so I came to Dr. Iannello, and I was he can tell by my face, I was very frightened because I couldn't feel anything.
Excuse me. What was interesting is that she couldn't even walk steadily.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually holding onto the wall, and she was unsure of her own strength. So you could see that she really couldn't control her legs. So she had begun to lose strength in her legs and the ability to walk normally. Now, when we did the examination, I was checking her, and the thing that I found is that she had misaligned her pelvis, which we call the sacroiliac joint region. So she had a misaligned sacroiliac joint, which was throwing off her whole gait. So she was completely crooked from the misalignment in her sacroiliac joint. And then in addition to that, she had tenderness on her lumbar spine and in the muscles that were next to that, which was, you know, not a 5-alarm fire concern. But when she laid on her back and I muscle tested the lower parts of the legs, she literally had no strength. I mean, she couldn't hold her big toe up against pressure. She had no strength on the muscles on the outside of the leg, and she had no strength on the muscles on the inside of the leg. So basically, the nerves that go to those muscles come out of her lower back, and they were completely not working. And that was the reason why she had no strength. So she was very, very concerned. She was scared. You know, she told me, "I'm scared." I said, "Okay, well, look, you've already had the x-rays taken. Nothing really showed up that showed that you fractured anything. You didn't, you know, her anatomy was on x-ray. She looked like she had a little bit of a curve in her back, almost like what you would think would be a scoliosis, but that was from the spasm." So I wasn't alarmed. I said, "Look, Jess, let's just work. Let's see what we can do over the next couple of weeks. We'll give it 4 weeks at the most. We'll give it like 30 days.
Right.
And if I can't make a change in 30 days, then we'll send you somewhere else. We'll have you further examined." And I remember from the first adjustment, she started healing. Why don't you tell that story?
The very first, the doctor saw my x-rays and said, "I know exactly what happened. I'm going to find one leg shorter than the other." He put me on the table, and sure enough, my right hip was shorter than the left, and he made one adjustment. And with that one adjustment, I walked out of here and felt a whole lot better, a whole lot better. And then he wanted me back here 3 times a week, and that's what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And went to PT. I had a prescription for PT, did that twice a week, and slowly but surely, the strength was coming back. I always had my own benchmarks, I told him. I have heels that I could put on. I could literally fall right off of these shoes. So every morning I would try my shoes and know that I was not, it was going to take time. And I had to say, it is going to take time. So with that mindset, I figured this is what I'm going to heal, because I know that he told me the truth, because little by little I started to feel a whole lot better. I literally had to walk from my house to the patio holding on to the side of my house. That's how bad I was. Or my friends helping me up into my house, because I was not steady on my feet at all.
What's nice also is to ease her mind every week. I do it on Thursdays. That's our last appointment of the week.
That's
So
right.
I suggest every Thursday we're going to recheck the strength in all your muscles. And there were 6 muscles that we were checking. And I don't think it was the first week, but I think by the second week, a little bit of strength started coming.
Right.
Like it just came back so gradually. And I was explaining to her that when the nervous system is pinched for a while, you know, the nerve transmission stops and things actually can wither away. But as you take the pressure off the nerves, the nerve system will actually regenerate itself. And, you know, a few millimeters per day here and there, all of a sudden things start transmitting it. And literally, week after week, first we had 1 muscle strong, then 2 muscles came back. Then we were left with the big toes. The big toes didn't want to come back, right?
The big toes didn't want to come back.
So we had gotten the strength back in the side of the muscles and the inside of the muscles, but the big toe strength just wouldn't come back.
Right.
And that's the L5 nerve, by the way. We know what nerve that is. So suggest we just got a little bit more pressure on that L5 nerve. The other thing, what I did to help her is I've been using a decompression therapy. And that was a key thing too. So we have a table that will decompress the spine, lengthen the spine gently, and pull the pressure off the nerves, as well as if there's any disc inflammation, it will actually vacuum the disc material back into itself and off the nerves. So you're basically de-inflaming the spine without drugs, without anything invasive, and it actually feels very good to have it done. And that's what a big part of this has been for you too.
Definitely.
So between the alignment and taking the inflammation out, her body is just regenerated. I mean, we're like about 2.5 months in, maybe 3.
Yes.
We're close to 3. Maybe 3 now. And she's right on schedule. I mean, at this point, I think you're completely pain-free.
I'm pain-free. I just started my Zumba classes last week. Tennis I'm going to do next Monday.
Right.
But I was very hesitant to go back to Zumba because I'm jumping up and down. And the minute I started my class, I literally almost started to cry because everything was back and I was able to do everything and leave that class without feeling a bit of pain. And then I would come in and get adjusted with the doctor, and he said, "Where were you?" I was at my Zumba class, and I'm so happy I'm back. I never thought I would be able to walk again. That's how bad this was to me.
She brings up a good point about time and about consistency, because I told her I think we're going to need about 6 to 9 months to really to finish this out.
Yes.
Where see now right now she's 3 months in, and although she is pain-free and she feels great, if she abruptly stopped doing what she's doing, her body would revert back because we haven't changed the surrounding tissue, we haven't remodeled her. So now that the pain is gone and you're back to full activity, which is phenomenal.
I'm back to everything.
Now the trick is how do you solidify the changes so that she's permanently well, so this will never, ever come back again.
Right.
And that's what we're going to be doing between now and the next 6 months. And she understands that, and she gets that. And that's why chiropractors will ask you to come in on a frequent basis, because if you could see what we did with her in 3 months, you had a woman that she would have ended up in surgery unnecessarily, because they wouldn't have known what else to do with her. They would have said, well, if we're just going to go and decompress that nerve, we're going to cut this out or cut that out. And then she would have had an unnecessary surgical procedure, which could have, we know 50% of the time you're worse than when you go in.
Right.
So statistically, we don't even know where she would have ended up. And the only thing that irks me about the situation is that how many people do we know like this that never knew? And had she not had a good relationship with, of all people, the girl that takes care of her nails, who's a terrific patient of ours and a beautiful person, we want to thank Julie for sending her here.
Absolutely.
Julie, you changed her life, and I always tell Jess, don't forget to tip Julie really well, because she really did you a good job.
I've known her since she's 18 years old.
Isn't it great when your own friends can help you?
Yes.
So that's why I wanted her to talk about this, because it really is a great story, and it's so heartwarming. And this is the type of thing that keeps me passionate and keeps me excited about coming to work every day.
I say to my friends, he is so positive and so encouraging, and I needed that because I'm a widow and I live alone, but I'm very active.
Absolutely,
And he was always encouraging me, always very positive, and that's what I needed, and that really helped me to really
Thank you. It's very sweet of you to say.
encourage myself. Say, he told me this, it came to fruition. He told me this, and it came to fruition. And everyone says to me, well, are you going to continue? I said, there's no way I'm going to stop and not coming back from
It's a wise decision, Jess.
No,
really, plus
I love seeing him and talking to him. Yeah,
it's funny how, so one of the biggest issues we have in chiropractic is people feel better, and they're like, well, now I'm done. I'm like, well, you're kind of feeling better, but please understand that you're changing a problem and we probably figured this was building for quite some time. Because how many years do you think this might be?
I'm going to say I remember the year 2000. I was in Florida with my husband, and I had a problem, and it went away.
Right.
And then it would come back again, and then it went away.
See, here's a good point. We're talking 12 years ago. She had a little irky problem that kind of came and went. And when people say, how did this happen? It's cumulative. It probably was sitting there 12 years ago, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then she did that one little thing. She changed her shoes. She went to a different heel height, and all of a sudden, poof, something just went. It's not age. It has nothing to do with her age. It had to do with the problem was sitting there for 12 years, and she never just knew to handle it. And it came to a head now, and fortunately you got what you needed, and now your body's healing itself.
Right.
So please, everybody, understand that when somebody comes in and says, I have this and that, and I'm this age, I don't even care what age you are. It doesn't matter. And that's why I wanted Jessie to come talk to you, because she's a very active lady, and she's definitely over 30. So I want to let you know that you didn't smile when I said that. You didn't even get it. But I want to let you know that it doesn't matter how old the patient is, because she's a good living testimony that you can have everything you want, get your body to work, and she didn't take a single drug. She did it all naturally.
In fact, I stopped both the drugs because they weren't helping me.
That's right.
I really don't need this.
That's right, you didn't.
No, I didn't need the muscle relaxer.
No.
I mean, I slept good at night, but it wasn't helping me at all.
That's right.
Not
it was
helping
just
me.
a Band-Aid. It wasn't
Right.
fixing. This fixed her. And that's the key.
Definitely.
That's what fixed her, and that's why it was so important that she tell you this. So I want to thank you so much for sharing your story.
I'm so
Great
happy
story.
that somebody sent me to you, because I really had no idea. I never went to a chiropractor, and I wanted to go to somebody who somebody else knew, and it just
always
so
good to go by
happened.
referral.
And it just so happened that my friend Julie said, you have got to go see him. And she called him right then and there for the appointment. And she walked me out the front. I think I scared my friend Julie, because she knows I'm such an active person. She was very worried about me. So.
Well, I'm glad that you've succeeded.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
I know only good things are coming, and your life is your own to have and enjoy.
I'm very happy.
Fantastic job, and thank you so much for telling us all about it. And we look forward
Everybody here is wonderful.
Yes, thank you. We look forward to hearing even better things from you in the future.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're very
welcome. Appreciate it, Jess. Take care, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.